Noise.
What's up? Did you see that Biya story?
Oh, Cameroonian president.
Yeah.
Nah, I saw it late though.
If Adam now, look, it's not just one story.
I don't send them teleprompter by then. By that
Every
time.
day,
It still doesn't matter now. You can't miss story because you don't even say make you print and put them for paper.
I feel bring them.
Yes, now what are you saying? It's not a trending story.
7 o'clock, oh, let's go.
This is not a talk. Oh.
I will just tested. Yeah, it's off.
Mm-mm. Okay, I think I can hear this one.
Yeah. Wait, make you change the talk back, oh.
Oh, this thing they remove. That's why.
You know what?
You say they work.
This thing they remove.
You wanna use the other one? Use the other one, man. Use the other one, big.
You did the helper.
Even this one self they remove. This one.
You come out, you can take that thing, draw and come out. You no get time, let's go.
Don't enter. You hear them?
Yeah, fair enough. We're good. You don't steady him now. Why you touch him again?
Don't talk camera, I don't set that thing.
I beg. Tell him they use water. Cup of hot water.
What one?
Yes. Good morning. Welcome to Global News on Signature Television. I'm Charles Pius. In the headlines, Enugu State governments to partner with Nigeria Police Trust Funds to boost security in the state. Vice President Shatima unveils framework for a nationwide nutrition program. Protesters burned American and Israeli flags in protests, and Argentine university students hold classes outdoors to protest budget cuts. Details in a moment. Timbin,
By here.
I cut them off.
You dey bring your water.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has unveiled a comprehensive framework for a nationwide nutrition program on Tuesday aimed at tackling malnutrition and food insecurity in Nigeria. Shettima, during the unveiling at the roundtable with development partners in Abuja, emphasized the program's alignment with President Bola Tinubu's focus on food security. Shettima urged development partners to support the initiative, acknowledging collaboration's crucial role in addressing nutritional challenges. He explained that the program adopted a grassroots driven approach, empowering local actors and investing in local capacity through training health workers and community leaders. In a remark, the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Pate, described the initiative as crucial in addressing acute, subacute, and chronic malnutrition. Similarly, the World Bank Country Director for Nigeria, Ndiam Diop, said the vision for the Nutrition 774 grassroots initiative was compelling. He pledged the World Bank's full support for the program, adding that the bank already has ongoing programs that are fit for purpose in supporting the initiative. On her part, USAID Mission Director in Nigeria, Melissa Jones, said the crisis of malnutrition, exacerbated by natural disasters, among other challenges, would require bold leadership in the humanitarian assistance space for them to be addressed. She emphasized the need for stakeholders to synergize efforts and work as a group and commended the government's initiative in prioritizing local government administration in the framework of the program. And while the federal government says it is currently executing 6,610 housing units across 13 states of the country as part of measures to reduce the housing deficits in the country, this was disclosed by the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa, at the opening of a three-day business summit in Enugu. Correspondent Precious Jagor was at the event and now reports.
No, that. The fish see this thing.
When I go do that?
Huh?
When I go do that?
Now you go start the forest stories.
Foreign news. Okay. This door is supposed to be closed now. I'm under the body water. Ubuntu. I am because we are. In, Ubuntu, the interconnectedness of humanity. I am because you are. You are because I am. It's all about togetherness, the interconnectivity of human beings. No human being can be an isolated being. You are because someone is, and that person is because you are. That is the philosophy of Ubuntu. I love the word Ubuntu. It's a South African word. And firstly, I didn't even know what it meant the first time I came across the word. I didn't know what it meant, but I just know I like the word Ubuntu. But when the explanation came from a South African friend that I found in South Africa. It's just amazing stuff, amazing stuff. The interconnectedness of humanity. This is a word trying, yeah, that talks about justice for humanity, justice for everybody, no matter who you are, where you are, or whatever you are believing in. As long as you are a human being, the word Ubuntu should resonate. But beyond that, um, I think the word also was used by Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu in the apartheid South Africa to unite the South African people and give them a sense of belonging, because there was a lot of division at the time. And so it was a fabulous word to use to unite the entire people. And then just when the apartheid regime was ending, this was around 92, 93, 94. So much respect, so much respect. For Cameroon is in the news, and Paul Biya is trending on socials, especially on X. As a matter of fact, it's the rumors of his death is not even what the problem is. It's now who takes over from him. And a whole lot of persons are pointing at Cameroon, are pointing at France as being the country that is influencing what's going on. Some people are saying that they want to, impose his son to lead the country. And some others are saying, look, thank God that maybe he's passed on. And just maybe it's about time that Cameroon embraces democracy. So much reforms that should be introduced, so-called. We'll see about that, because it's a story that is still developing. Nobody knows just yet whether he is dead or not. There's still rumors about that, because it's in France for some medical checkups. The Enugu State government is to collaborate with the Nigerian Police Trust Fund to revamp facilities and strengthen security in the state. The partnership will include the modernization infrastructure and enhance training, and to improve the skill of police personnel. The Executive Secretary of the fund, Mohammed Shaidu, announced the collaboration during a courtesy visit to the Enugu State's Pitamba at the Government House in Enugu. He praised what he described as the significant contribution of the state government to law enforcement in the country. Governor Peter Mbah welcomed the partnership, emphasizing his administration's commitment to creating a conducive environment for businesses to thrive in the state. He identified technology as a crucial tool in crime prevention, citing the state's investment in closed-circuit television, CCTV cameras, and other devices to prevent and detect crimes.
They hot too.
That's probably too hot too. This place they.
Yes, make it on to the two AC.
They off.
One day off, one day on. Make I on the other one, so I'm going to sharp. They hot too.
I'm not gonna drink that yet. Enugu state government says 10 more smart schools in the state will be completed by December this year. The State Commissioner for Education, Professor Ndubuezema, who featured on Signature Morning on Signature Television, said that the smart schools, which is being built in all the 17 local governments in the state, would be fully equipped with provisions for free textbooks, solar systems, and clinics, among other facilities. Mba said each of the smart schools can accommodate at least 840 children and that every child of the school age, including the visually impaired, would be accommodated in the schools. The commissioner advised the teachers to invest in themselves by acquiring training in information communication technology to make them suitable for the smart school that will, in due course, replace the conventional public schools. Paul Biya of Cameroon have ruled Cameroon even before I was born. Yeah. Think I'm that old. Paul Biya has ruled Cameroon for that long a time. And it looks like his family will continue his legacy. Maybe his son takes over from where he stopped. On the security of the facility and the smart schools, the Education Commissioner said the state government working in liaison with local governments and community will ensure adequate security of the facilities, teachers, and pupils. About 400,000 youths in Enugu State are currently engaged in the abuse of hard and illicit drugs. This was disclosed by the Deputy Commander in charge of counseling and rehabilitation at the Enugu State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Onwunwa Ibezimako, when he featured on Signature Morning, the flagship breakfast show on Signature Television on Tuesday. Ibezimako noted that drug abuse was responsible for the various ills in the society, including cultism, robbery, banditry, kidnapping, and rape, among other criminal and anti-social behaviors. He lamented the increasing involvement of women in drug abuse and trafficking, especially the young girls, some of whom, he said, come from prominent families, warning that such behavior has the potential to ruin their future. He commended Mrs. Ikechi Remba, wife of the state's governor, for using her foundation, Custos Care, to educate the woman and girl child on dangers of drug abuse. The NDLEA commander said the agency is actively involved in the rehabilitation of drug addicts, saying that the rehabilitation center in Enugu office accommodates 20 persons. The House of Representatives Joint Committee on Environment and Petroleum Resources Upstream, Petroleum Downstream has again summoned the managing director of both Aito E&P Company, Victor Okoronkwo, and Nigerian Agip Oil Company, Bolondi Fabrizio, now Oando Oil Limited, to appear within 7 days over oil spillage at Oluborboro community in southern Ijo. This was as the committee expressed displeasure over refusal by the oil company's executives to appear before the committee after being invited on 3 occasions. Speaking at the commencement of the hearing in Abuja, the chairman of the committee, Pondi Igbabobo, said that committee was mandated to investigate activities and operations of Aito E&P Company and Nigerian Agip Oil Company, now Oando Oil Limited. I just let off. Oh, I beg, next time, make it no balance just much. Just make you just hot small, just bring. So now that when I finish using, I go feel it. Touch up. To touch myself, don't talk off my tongue. Tongue go burn.
Make I get an undercover so you go dilute.
Okay, go add more water, ba. Bring water if you water there. He, however, emphasized that the contribution by the oil companies should not come at the cost of the health, well-being, and livelihood of the people in the host communities, nor the expense of the environment. Speaking at the meeting, Rufikat Odetoro, who represented the Ministry of Environment, said the EIA approval issued by the ministry stipulated that the crude oil from Aito oil fields should be evacuated through pipelines and not through barges as being currently practiced by the company. It's just too hot though. Just put down one here. This one's okay. While responding to inquiries from the lawmakers, Mr. Yahya, who earlier disclosed that the NUPRC granted the first permits of 6 months to Aito to badge to avoid loss of about 90% of the 550,000 barrels per day oil production, however, affirmed that 2 years permit was given to Aito to badge considering the criticality of oil production. According to him, any attempt to ask ITO to shut down will have huge cost implications on the oil production target. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives on Tuesday commenced preliminary votes to increase the funding of the National Orientation Agency to enhance its service delivery. The resolution of the House followed the adoption of a motion on the need to review the budgetary allocation of the National Orientation Agency of Nigeria for improved citizens' orientation, moved by the member representing Agege Federal Constituency, Lagos State, Adewale Hamid. Speaking on the motion, Hamid noted that the NOA plays an important role in the reorientation of citizens on national values and promoting the spirit of unity and patriotism, noting that more funding of the agency was needed to empower it to discharge its services. The state of the restiveness across the country, coupled with many social vices, he said, necessitates urgent measures for effective reorientation to curb the vices and promote societal growth. The plenary, presided over by Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, mandated the House Committees on Information, National Orientation, Ethics, and Values to conduct a thorough oversight and recommend appropriate measures that will enhance the effectiveness and efficiency of the agency for improved service delivery. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Senate on Tuesday passed the second reading of the Investment and Securities Bill 2024. This bill aims to replace the outdated Investments and Securities Act of 2007, promoting economic growth. This initiative was spearheaded by the Senate leader, Senator Opayemi Bamidele, and Senator Osita Izunaso, who emphasized the vital role of the capital market in driving economic growth. Speaking in support of the bill, other senators believe that it will protect investors by enforcing stricter regulations and enhancing market transparency. Okay, this is Ademo Alero, Kebbi Central. In his remarks, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, who committed the bill to the Committee on the Capital Market for further legislation function, emphasized that the legislation is crucial for strengthening Nigeria's economy. Adebomire, Adeni. Okay. Where's that something? Similarly, a bill seeking to establish a Federal University of Agriculture at Akure, Ondo State passed second reading on the floor of the Senate. Sponsored by Senator Abodimire Adeniyi, the bill was sent to the Senate Committee on Tertiary Education and TED Fund to report back in 4 weeks. Still to come, Governor Fubara inaugurates Judicial Commission of Inquiry over Monday attack on some local governments. Manager arrested for alleged negligence over Lagos boat mishap. These and more after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Global News on Signature Television. The River State's government has set up a judicial commission of inquiry into the arsons, killings, and other forms of violence that occurred in the state on Monday. Signature TV had reported that Ikwe, Eleme, and Emoha local government council secretariats were set ablaze following the withdrawal of the police officers securing the 23 council secretariats by the Commissioner of Police, Kayode Ebetokun. Statements by the Office of the Secretary to the River State's government, Dr. Tammy Danagogo, on Tuesday says the setting up of the Judicial Committee was pursuant to Section 2.1 of the Commissions of Inquiry, Law Cap 30, Laws of River States of Nigeria, 1999. Members of the commission include Barrister Felicia Onwoke, Professor Blessing Didia, Samuel Egbe, Venerable Alex Usifo, Barrister Uzo Ikenga, and Mrs. Inyingi Brown, who served as secretary, while Honorable Justice I.R. Minakiri, the chairman. Members of the commission have already been sworn in at the Executive Council Chambers, Government House, Port Harcourt. Meanwhile, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, has accused Governor Similaye Fubara of being the architect of the ongoing political crisis in Rivers State. Wike made the accusation on Tuesday while speaking on Channels Television's Politics Today program. The minister said that the governor who was wrong to go ahead of the local government elections. He also said that he has no apology for working against the presidential ambition of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in 2023. Wike said he worked against PDP because the party jettisons fairness, equity, and justice. Meanwhile, the chairman Labour Party Caretaker Committee, Senator Nenadi Usman, on Tuesday said our committee would appeal the judgment of the Federal High Court Abuja, which upheld the Julius Abure-led leadership. Usman, in a statement, said that she met with the party's 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi, Abia State Governor Alex Oti, and Senator Darlington Walker, Secretary, LP Caretaker Committee, and deliberated on the judgment. The former finance minister admitted that the judgment, which upheld the Newi Convention of the party, preceded the formation of the Caretaker Committee, said the leaders resolved to challenge the judgment. The LP Caretaker Committee chairman called on all party members to remain calm and maintain peace as they continue reconciliations efforts. However, after being briefed, the Caretaker Committee decided to join the case. Consequently, have resolved to appeal the judgment accordingly. Signature Television had reported that in his judgment on Tuesday, the presiding judge, Emeka Nwite, also directed the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to recognize Abure-led executive of the party. Nwite stated that the National Convention held in Newi in March is valid, constitutional, and in line with all laid down laws in Nigeria. In a significant breakthrough, 8 out of the 9 individuals abducted in Kenya district of Danko Wasagu local government area have been rescued by a joint team of security operatives, the Kebbi State Police Command has confirmed. This is contained in a statement issued by the Kebbi State Police spokesperson Nafiu Abubakar. The rescue operation was carried out after a gunfight in Sakaba Forest. The victims kidnapped on October 6, 2024 were rescued unhurt and have since been reunited with their families after receiving medical care at the Central or the General Hospital in Sakaba. The Commissioner of Police, Kebbi State, Bello Sani, commended the bravery and resilience of a combined team of the police officers, military personnel, and local vigilantes involved in the operation. He urged them to maintain their efforts until the district head of Kenya, who remains in captivity, is safely rescued and the kidnappers apprehended. CP Sani also called on members of the public to provide any relevant information that could aid the ongoing rescue efforts and assist in bringing the perpetrators to justice. Meanwhile, the National Inland Waterways Authority says the manager of the ferry that capsized on Monday in Lagos has been arrested for alleged negligence and failure to comply with safety regulations. The Lagos area manager of NIWA, Sarat Brahma, made the disclosure in a statement on Tuesday in Lagos. Brahma said that the arrest was effected as a result of findings from a detailed investigation into the circumstances surrounding the incident. The arrest is aimed at ensuring accountability and setting a precedence for strict adherence to waterways regulation to prevent future occurrences. Noted that further legal actions are underway as investigations continue. She said that it had been established that the fiber boats veered off its channel and collided with the wooden boats due to obstructed vision of the captain. Brahma said that the obstruction was largely due to loads of the fiber boat. She added that the boat owned by Only God Ferry failed to adhere to operational safety standards and proper navigation procedures. In a statement, the Lagos State Police Command said that two unregistered passengers boats, which each carrying 16 passengers, collided in the middle of the lagoon near Imora town, leaving several people injured and others missing. Meanwhile, the Enugu State Electricity Distribution Company, EEDC, has pledged to systematically transition customers from lower tariff bands to Band A, where they would enjoy a minimum of 20 hours of electricity supply daily. The acting manager and the managing director of the EEDC, Dr. N.S. Mapwaya, gave the assurance on Tuesday in Enugu while declaring open the company's customer service week. Mopwaya charged employees of the company to renew their commitment and determination to exceed customers' expectations by providing courteous, timely, and impactful services. According to him, EEDC believes that thrives for excellence, and together the company will continue to power the people in the southeast and beyond with excellent, caring, and innovative service always. The acting managing director, however, noted that the company had encountered obstacles such as insufficient revenue and the constraints imposed by industry regulations. The National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, in Adamawa State said it recorded 138 cases of human rights violations between January and September 30, with parental neglect topping the list. The NHRC coordinator in Adamawa State, Grace Mabza, said in Yola on Tuesday that 80% of the cases were parental neglect due to the economic hardship, among other violations. Mabza listed other violations to include domestic violence with about 15%, right to inheritance, physical assault, while 5% of the cases were on rights to dignity and threats to life. According to her, 75% of the cases were resolved. Some are ongoing, while some were referred to police, judiciary, and others organizations with similar mandates for further determination. She urged Nigerians to respect human rights at all times for peaceful coexistence and advised parents, especially husbands, to take good care of their families while calling on the public to report any rights violations to the Commission or security agencies for justice to prevail. Meanwhile, the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Mrs. Zubaida Umar, is appealing for collaboration with stakeholders and customers for effective service delivery. Umar made the appeal at the sensitization rally in commemoration of Customer Service Week held in Sokoto, which has as its theme Above and Beyond, organized by the agency as part of Customer Service Week activities. Umar, represented by the zonal head Aliyu Kafindangi, said the heart of a successful agency lies on its commitment to delivering exceptional services to its customers and stakeholders. She observed that the Customer Service Week is a global awareness initiative that recognizes the essential role of customer service in organizations and the people who provide those services. She underscored the importance of recognizing the contributions of each customer towards achieving the set mission. The DG commended the staff of the agency for their resilience and proactive efforts in discharging their duties, adding that their professionalism and dedication speaks volumes about NEMA's core values of service, integrity, and humanity. The Naira on Tuesday appreciated by 73 Naira at the official market, trading at 1,561 to the dollar. Data from the official trading platform of the FMDQ exchange revealed this. This represents a 4.4% gain when compared to the previous trading date on Monday, which is it exchanged at 1,635 to the dollar. Also, the total daily turnover increased to $253 million on Tuesday, up from $126 million recorded on Monday. Meanwhile, at the investors and exporters I&E window, the naira traded between 1,650 and 1,540 against the dollar, respectively. Still to come, Mexico's Sheinbaum rolls out security strategies to strengthen police and boost intelligence. Moon turns red over Beirut. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Global News on Signature Television. Rumors of Cameroonian President Paul Biya's death have ignited political speculations and controversy surrounding the country's succession plans. Following Biya's extended absence after the China-Africa Summit from September 4 to 6, 2024, lawyer Christian Ntabane expressed concerns in an open letter to the Samuel Mvondo Ayolo, the director of the Civil Cabinet. The absence of the official updates on the 91-year-old president's health has fueled widespread speculation, with reports suggesting he is either recovering in Switzerland or hospitalized in France. Ntimbane has called for transparency, urging the governments to clarify the president's situation, saying, if he is on vacation, say so. If he is sick, say that too, in a bid to calm public concerns. Biya's absence has dominated media coverage, heightening anxiety among citizens about political stability after his 42-year reign. On platforms like X, formerly Twitter, public opinion is split. Some users speculate that France is attempting to install Biya's eldest son, Frank Emmanuel Biya, as his successor, while others believe Cameroon is on the brink of freedom from Biya's prolonged rule. According to Cameroon Concord, a political framework may already be in place to facilitate the transition, with Biya's brother-in-law, Robert Nkili, positioned to serve as interim president. However, opposition leaders such as Maurice Kamto could mobilize to contest any attempts at dynasty succession, pushing for democratic reforms. Biya has been Cameroon's president since November 6, 1982, following his role as prime minister from 1975 to 1982. He remains the second longest ruling president in Africa, the longest serving non-royal national leader globally, and the oldest head of state. As speculation swells, the government's silence continues to fill public uncertainty about Cameroon's political future. It's a developing story. We'll keep an eye on that and bring you up to speed if there's anything else that develops. Meanwhile, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres says drafting of Israeli legislation that would stop the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency from working in the Gaza Strip and West Bank would be a catastrophe if enacted. The Israeli parliament in July gave preliminary approval to a bill that would declare UNRWA a terrorist organization. Israeli leaders have accused UNRWA staff of collaborating with Hamas militants in Gaza. The UN said in August that the 9 UNRWA staff may have been involved in the October 7, 2023 Hamas attack on Israel and had been fired. A Hamas commander in Lebanon, killed last month in an Israeli strike, was found to have had an UNRWA job. Guterres spoke to reporters a day after the one-year anniversary of the shock Hamas rampage in Israel, during which some 1,200 people were killed and about 250 taken hostage, according to Israeli figures. More than 100 hostages remain held in Gaza by the Palestinian militant group. Guterres appealed to Israel and Hezbollah to respect the safety and security of UNIFIL peacekeepers in southern Lebanon. It said that the Israeli forces operating adjacent to the UNIFL position staffed by Irish peacekeepers had left after the complaint on Monday to different entities. Meanwhile, protesters in Iran's capital, Tehran, burned U.S. and Israeli flags during an anti-Israel protest on Tuesday, waving Palestinian and Iranian flags and holding up posters of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah. They chanted pro-Palestinian and pro-resistance slogans in Palestine Square. Hezbollah and Israel have traded fire for the past year, with a militia group launching rockets into Israel in support of Hamas following its October 7 attack. In a televised speech on Tuesday, Hezbollah deputy leader Naim Kazem said he supported efforts to secure a truce. He said the group's capabilities were intact, despite what he called painful blows from Israel. Meanwhile, a red-hued moon was seen in the night skyline over Beirut on Tuesday. The Israeli military issued on Tuesday a new evacuation warning for residents, especially those in specific buildings in Beirut's southern suburbs, including Haaretz Reik. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant has cancelled plans for a Wednesday visit to the Pentagon. A Pentagon spokesperson said on Tuesday, saying it looked forward to welcoming him at a later date. However, no particular reason was given for the sudden cancellation of the anticipated visits. And elsewhere, the Israel Defense Forces IDF on Tuesday announced the killing of Suhail Husseini, commander of the Hezbollah, the Lebanese militant organization, at its headquarters. According to a statement issued by the IDF, the Israeli Air Force conducted a precise intelligence-based strike in the area of Beirut that killed Husseini. The IDF said that the headquarters oversees logistics within Hezbollah and is in charge of budgeting and management of the various units in the organization, and that Husseini played a crucial role in the weapon transfers between Iran and Hezbollah. The statement said Husseini was also a member of the Jihad Council, Hezbollah's senior military leadership council. IDF said the headquarters included Hezbollah's research and development units, which is responsible for manufacturing precision-guided missiles and managing the storage and transportation of weapons in Lebanon. Hurricane Milton weakened slightly to a strong Category 4 storm on Tuesday, but it still poses a growing threat to Florida, where the state ordered mass evacuations while still recovering from the devastation of Hurricane Helena. With maximum sustained winds of 249 kilometers per hour, Milton was one step down from the Category 5 it reached on Monday on the 5-step Saffir-Simpson scale. Fed by warm waters in the Gulf of Mexico, Milton became the third fastest intensifying storm on record in the Atlantic Ocean, the U.S. National Hurricane Center said, as it surged from a tropical storm on a Category 5 hurricane in less than 24 hours. While fluctuations in intensity are expected, Milton is forecast to remain an extremely dangerous hurricane through landfall in Florida, according to the Hurricane Center. Meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden has urged those who have been ordered to leave before Hurricane Milton makes landfall in Florida to evacuate now, saying it was a matter of life and death. Biden said that he has approved pre-landfall emergency declarations in Florida and is calling on airlines to accommodate evacuations and not engaged in price gouging. Hurricane Milton was expected to expand in size on Tuesday as it's charged past Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula en route to Florida's battered Gulf Coast, where more than 1 million people were ordered to evacuate before the monster storm arrived. Florida's densely populated west coast, still reeling from the devastating Hurricane Helena less than 2 weeks ago, braced for a landfall in the Tampa Bay area on Wednesday. A direct hit on the bay would be the first since 1921, when the now sprawling Tampa-St. Petersburg Clearwater area was a relative backwater. Meanwhile, Georgia's Republican-controlled election board met on Tuesday to consider potential election violations and rule changes. In September, the board voted to require a labor-intensive hand count of potentially millions of ballots in November, a move voting rights advocates say could cause delays in introduce errors and lay the groundwork for spurious challenges in the battleground state. The hand counts rule in the latest, or is the latest rule, a change passed in recent months by the conservative majority of the boards, who say they are attempting to make the November 5th election more secure and transparent. Public comments during the meeting came from both sides of the issue, with some residents expressing confidence in the current system, while others voiced concerns about the board's recent actions and their implications for election integrity. Former U.S. President Donald Trump faces Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democratic presidential candidate, in the November 5th election. Polls show a close race, with Georgia among 7 states likely to determine the outcome. And news just reaching us from the Cameroonian government is saying that President Paul Biya has passed on. We told you earlier about this development, that the rumors spread earlier this morning at about 1 a.m. And that has also sparked some other conversation about his succession with France, of course, because Cameroon is a colony of France at the time that it colonized the country, and so there are reports that France may be prepping his son, in the person of Mr. Emmanuel Frank, to take over from him. And of course, some other opposition leaders in the country are stating clearly that that may not be the clear case. Some people say that this is the best time to end the draconian rule of Paul Biya, who has ruled for 42 years. And some others say that maybe it might have been a continuation from the family. But we'll keep an eye on that and bring you up to speed. It's been 42 years since he has been ruling Cameroon. And of course, there has been mixed feelings about this particular death. Just to say again that the Cameroon government's information reaching us is stating clearly that Paul Biya, Cameroon's longest serving president, has passed. He passed in France earlier this morning. So keep an eye on that and bring you up to speed when there's anything else that you can ask. Many thanks for being part of the program. We're back shortly in about 3 minutes for the morning show. My name is Charles Pius. Thank you for watching. Good morning.
Thank you.
Who will give you this sort of information?
President.
You see? So you say you miss
I see long right up. I no good trap.
If you confirm how true it is in there, I will just carry something like that.
I didn't go through it. That's the problem. I didn't go through it. If they send out for that were editing this thing.
That's what I'm saying. Story, if I check him now.
The story just came. No, the story just came.
The story didn't just come.
He sent
me from Oga.
No,
It can be from Oga.
Look at the story here.
Something where I follow since overnight. They say the speculation.
So why
I send down to Ram. So I send down to the news platform.
No. I saw the story on our staff group. There is this number where we file in report. So I just see.